Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution episode 809. Happy Tuesday. Oh, I woke up with the crud. I actually woke up at like midnight, 1 o'clock with the crud. I started feeling it right around dinner time last night. You know, that it's not like your throat's not sore, but it's like you can feel something's off in your throat. And the more the night wore on, it's like, I kind of feel like crap. Then I woke up, I didn't sleep. I couldn't sleep because I felt like crap. Today I'm going to feel like crap because I couldn't sleep. So that's what I'm dealing with this morning. But yesterday was a great day. Oh, by the way, happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. I feel like crap. Yesterday, great day. I officially booked my spring training trip, going an extra day than what I had planned. What else did I do yesterday? Something else. Oh, I sold my bulk. I listed my bulk on Sunday afternoon, and I had like 5 or 6 people like kicking the tires. And I try to be as upfront as possible. Like, hey, there's not going to be any autographs and relics and $20 plus cards. There's probably going to be some $5, maybe even a $10 card in there. Don't count on it, but it's a lot of comments. It's priced at 5 cards for a penny. It's just bulk. So, but there's some decent stuff because there was some like they were opened packs, but somebody like opened the packs of cards and just put the cards back in the packs. There's like Jordan Poole rookie and I don't know, some other like top basketball rookies. And I'm like, I'm just going to leave them in here, and the person who buys my bulk will get them. So somebody reached out and they're like, my son goes to the university. How about meeting him up on Thursday? He's like, I'll even pay you. He Venmo'd me yesterday. Like the easiest bulk sale ever. So that's awesome. So I got rid of some bulk, I'll free up some space. And so I can work on another bulk batch of cards. But speaking of bulk, I had a great conversation with Cooter last night, and he gave me some great tips on what to do with my bulk. So I'm going to put those ideas into practice here soon. So appreciate that. Let's get into the chat. Happy Valentine's Day. Kyle says, looking forward to hearing what a day at spring training looks like. I can walk you through that. Paul Heath, what's happening? Jenny wants to know if Paul and Kyle do spring training. Johnny Boy Cards is here. Terry and Todd, what's happening? Good morning. Kyle does not. I don't even do regular season baseball games. Clark, good morning. Jeremy, what's happening? Dan says a Yu-Gi-Oh commercial leading into the show. Really? See, I have no idea. Cooter says, good morning. For the record, you are not my Valentine. Well, that's good. We agree on that. Harlan in the house. What is up? Jenny says, wow, nice on selling the bulk. Yeah, sold it in less than 24 hours at full price, which I was like pretty firm. So I did get a decent offer from someone, but it was like an hour after I listed. And I'm like, I'm going to stay firm because it's a decent bulk lot. I mean, it's not going to find a 4-0 box of junk wax rookies that like I found in the Goodwill pallet, but there's some decent stuff. Let's see. Would you mind sharing the price range and approximate card count? Absolutely. So it was $500 and approximately 200,000 cards. So it will fill up my entire back of my SUV. And so per card, that comes out to about 5 cards for a penny. So about 200,000 cards, $500. So that was my price tag, and that's what it sold for. Let's see. Turkey Card says, you getting a heart-shaped gas station pizza tonight? Oh, I don't know if my wife would appreciate that. Well, my wife and I will celebrate Valentine's Day by working. I'll probably be here shipping. My wife will be on her computer, uh, doing a listing contract or something. So that's our romantic Valentine's. It is speaking of romantic, my top Series 1 box is scheduled to be delivered today. Happy Valentine's Day. Also, I did order that cord that I need for the Sega, and that's supposed to be delivered today. Video games and baseball cards being delivered on Valentine's Day. That's it's like my dream as a 12-year-old. Let's see. Herman, what's happening? Good morning. Dan says, what do you think people do with the bulk they buy from you? It varies. That's what's kind of cool about, because I've sold, this is probably going to be the 6th in the last year. I've sold well over 1 million cards in bulk in the last year. So I think each of the buyers, not each of them do something different, but it kind of varies what they do. I actually had maybe two or three like father-son combos. Like the kid was like a young teenager. Actually, one of the guys that I delivered to, his kids were a little younger, like, I don't know, 8, 7, than a couple. And I think at least one other dad-son combo. The kid was like maybe 12, 13. So they were it was like a father-son, like, hey, for $500, we can dig through 200,000 cards. This will be fun. And for a little kid, like, that's pretty awesome getting all those cards, even if it's, commons and stuff. I had one guy who runs a few like resale shops, and he puts together he's actually in the Wisconsin Dells. So during the summer, he like he'll put together like packs of 50 cards, and sells them for like $2 each or some $5 or whatever. And in a tourist town, it's a hit for him. So that was one. And then actually one guy, he was just like hoarding them. He's like, yeah, I've just got a shed, and I'm going to put in every once in a while, I'll sort through them. So it kind of varies. It's kind of cool what various people do when they buy the bulk. So a little bit of everything. Let's see. Boston Smoke is here. Victor, what's up? Ed is here. Diego is here. What's happening? Kyle says, speaking of romantic, Matt texted yesterday that SGC cards are back already from the January Madison show. Looking forward to those. Excellent. That's very cool. Yeah, Kyle with a big submission to 5-star cards, which, by the way, 5-star cards will be at the Madison Card Show, one of the 5 sponsors this month for the Madison Card Show, Saturday, February 25th at the Sheraton Hotel on John Nolan Drive. Show runs 9 to 3, 125 tables, nearly sold out already. 125 tables. 5-star cards will be taking submissions. One of my sponsors for the February show. We've got Black Diamond Supply as a sponsor. They will have plenty of supplies on hand for you. They'll be in the mezzanine. We've got Ferry Brother Breaks. They'll be in the Williamson Ballroom on the first floor. They've got the whole back wall. They've got some great bargain boxes, some great stuff to dig through. We've got AJ Collectibles. They've got 3 locations. Let's see, Greenfield, Hartford, and Kenosha. So check AJ Collectibles. They'll be in the Williamson Ballroom as well. They bring a nice mix of product and in sealed product as well. So I would imagine they'll have some top Series 1 at the February 25th Madison Card Show. And the Lion's Den. Jim will be set up right as you walk in the upstairs Capitol Ballroom. He's got a very cool selection, a lot of antiques and vintage, a lot of non-sport like pre-war and vintage. So he's got a great selection. And he also has a really cool booth. I checked it out around Christmas at Atomic Antiques, which is on Verona Road next to Home Depot in Madison. So those are the 5 sponsors for the February 25th Madison Card Show at the Sheraton Hotel on John Nolan Drive. And speaking of the Madison Card Show, I finally got the contract. So we are locked in for April, May, June. Let's see. Now I've got to look at the calendar because I don't remember off the top of my head. So our upcoming shows, the Madison Card Show, February 25th, March 18th, which, by the way, just a note, that is the same weekend as the Chicago Sports Spectacular. Right? There was no way around that. April 29th is our April show. May 27th, which is Memorial Day weekend, and June 17th. And unfortunately, and I texted my buddy Mike, one of the promoters at Rockford and Janesville. Unfortunately, we will be competing that day, June 17th. They'll have their card show in Rockford at the Indoor Sports Center. It's a one-day show there. Madison Card Show will unfortunately be the same day. Again, there was no way around it. The other weekends in June were booked at the Sheraton, so it was either June 17th or no show in June. I think there's enough demand here. We have different customer bases. Yeah, there's some people that go to do both shows. It's probably going to be the worst for dealers because a lot of dealers do both shows. But I still think there's enough that we'll have a good amount of dealers at both shows and a good amount of customers at both shows as well. So that's news on the upcoming Madison Card shows. Where are we at? Jenny says, do you separate by sport for bulk? I do not. It just kind of all goes. It's bulk. I do, after a conversation with Cooter last night, I think I am going to be a little more, make a little more concerted effort to separate based on some of the recommendations and tips he gave me moving forward. Let's see. Or do you just do this as a whole bunch of random? Pretty much. It's basically, I think I advertised this as baseball, football, basketball with some other stuff mixed in. There might be hockey and soccer. Probably a majority baseball. I think there was a lot of football on this one as well. So it's just kind of all over the place. I try to take as many pictures because when I'm buying bulk, like I want to know, like, okay, because even though it's kind of a double-edged sword, like, yes, it's only it's only a penny and you're getting 5 cards for a penny, but at the same time, you're also dumping $500 in one purchase. So I get it from both sides. So I try to take as many pictures just to get you a good gauge, and that's how I roll it. Terry says one man's bulk is another man's treasure. Absolutely. And I'm on both sides of that spectrum. Some people, quarter boxes and dollar boxes are like, ugh, this is junk. And I'm like, hey, this is a gold mine. Look at the last Goodwill pallet. Somebody just tossed a whole bunch of awesome 80s rookies and donated to Goodwill. And I'm looking at like, this is freaking gold. By the way, that stuff will be listed in my eBay store later this week. So I've had a lot of people ask me about those junk wax rookies. So I'm still catching up from shipping. The 50% off sale ended last night. So I am buried in shipping. Another successful sale. So that's good. Also have Topps release. I will be doing a live. We'll do some giveaways. I'll probably do that tomorrow night. My boxes are scheduled to be delivered today. It's going to take all of my willpower to not open any of the boxes today or tonight. So I will try to abstain, and we'll do, actually, I take that back because I ordered 2 hobby boxes in a jumbo box. If they are delivered today, I'll probably just, for fun, open a hobby box. The jumbo box I do want to open live, and then the second hobby box is what I want to position as the giveaway box. And I'm still I've got to look at the checklist because I don't want to fall into the backyard breaks and the Go GTS where we're going to give away all of these cards. Oh, except for that one. We're not going to do that. We're going to be upfront. You're not going to get any Cubs cards. Those stay in my collection. I think maybe, one of ones, if a one of one is pulled, I will not give a one of one away. And maybe like autos with a lower, like under 100 serial number. I won't give those away. So I'm still giving away a ton of crap. But if something great is pulled, and I want to be super transparent, like if this is pulled, it's not being given away. So there's no shady business. You can't call me a backyard breaker. You can't call me a, slipping something under the rug. So I want to take a look at the checklist, and I don't want to be surprised. Like, my luck is I'll miss there's cut autographs of Abraham Lincoln. And it's like, well, you didn't say that wasn't included. So I want to be very meticulous as I look through the checklist just to make sure I cross all my T's and dot all my I's so we don't run into any potential problems. It sucks that you have to be that so now I kind of get it from those guys' standpoints. Like, you're giving away stuff, but at the same time, it's like you have to be very careful and you have to be super transparent. Like, yeah, you're being generous and you're giving stuff away, but at the same time, you don't want to come off as crooked. We're going to give away everything. So we're not going to say that. Paige and Deanie Bean, what is happening? Pitchers and catchers are reporting. I actually messaged one of the Cubs prospects and said, hey, I'll be out there. First I asked, I'm like, hey, when do you report? And he's actually, I think this morning, he flies to Arizona this morning. And I said, I'll be out there March 7th through the 14th. And I've got some customs. I've made some customs. He'll actually reach out and he's like, hey, I got some new pictures. Can you make a card? And so I'll send him off to his family. So looking forward to hanging out at spring training. We'll get in. Let's catch up on the chat and I'll talk about I have it. It's not completely 100% booked, just my flight. I'm going to get there. That's the most important part. The hotels and the rental car, that's secondary because that's once I'm out there, I'll find my way, right? Christian says he went to spring training in 2006, had a great time minus the Tigers legend who was hiding behind a bush, selling his autograph out of view from team officials. He was even making change for people. I have one guess as to who that might be. Was he a pitcher? I have one guess, and I bet it's correct. I'm going to guess it was a pitcher. Might have pitched in the 60s and 70s. Paul Carl Cards, what's happening? Jenny says, we got Bo's Bride Real Estate who can find you a home in Madison near John Nolan Drive so you can attend every Madison card show. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Where are we at? Happy Valentine's Day. Brian, what's up? James in the house. I was looking at the odds in Series 1. It's not looking good. Doubled from last year. I didn't see it was double, but I did read that it's up. Print run is up, which I'm not surprised by. I didn't read how much. If it is up double, that really sucks. And that's why I wanted a jumbo box, just to guarantee an auto, right? Because in the hobby boxes, it's an auto or relic, and you're probably going to get a freaking napkin relic. So I'm not looking forward to the hobby box. Jenny says, oh, May show is at Bratfest time again. Oh, yes, Jenny, yes. Thank you. So the May 27th, and I was actually looking at the lineup for Bratfest the other day. There's no Queensryche or no 2/5 of Queensryche this year. So the Madison card show is Saturday, May 27th. That is Memorial Day weekend, and Bratfest is right across the street. So if you come in early and say you want to stay on Friday night and go to the card show on Saturday, Friday night's acts. Let's see, the main acts on Friday night at Bratfest, May 26th on Friday night, Saving Abel. So if you're a rock fan, Saving Abel will be on stage. Steven Adler of Guns N' Roses, he'll be on stage at 7 o'clock Friday night. Looks like the main stage is a country rock act dude named Frankie Ballard. I've never heard of him. So that's Craig Campbell. He's a country guy. He's going to be on at 6:45. I think I've heard of him. Craig Campbell. He also released All My Friends Drink Beer. It's About Time in 2020. Huh. I guess I don't know who Craig Campbell is. So that's Friday night. Come out to the Madison Card Show on May 27th. That's Saturday. And the musical acts across the street, again, Bratfest is right across the street. You can literally walk across John Nolan Drive to Bratfest. So we've got, let's see, we've got Wayland. They're like a kind of a rock band. Madison County, they're a country act. I think they're local. Yeah, based out of Madison. That's pretty local. The main stage on Saturday night. So Saturday's a little weak. Saturday night, Slaughter. They're on stage at 8 o'clock on Saturday night. Slaughter. Fly to the Angels, Up All Night. Let's see. And Sunday, if you want to just make it a whole damn weekend, you don't have to work on Monday. Sunday's acts at Bratfest in Madison. My buddy Ray, he's actually one of my dealers at the Madison Card Show. He's part of a 90s cover band called the Foo Foo Dolls. They're on stage at 4:10 on that Sunday of Memorial Day weekend. Tone Loc is on stage at 6:45 Sunday night. Kid and Play is the main act. So you got Tone Loc followed by Kid and Play at Bratfest that's on Sunday, May 28th. So the Madison Card Show Saturday, May 27th. So there you go. Thanks, Jenny. Yes, Bratfest and the Madison Card Show. It's like a brat and mustard. They just go together like a brat and a brat and kraut. There you go. That's a better combination. A brat and sauerkraut. The Madison Card Show and Bratfest. Hot guy Sheena, what's up? My guy Sheena in the house. Appreciate the cards. Heck yeah. Thank you very much. By the way, Sheena, you will be seeing him at the Madison Card Show. And Michael Renicky, you'll be seeing him at the Madison Card Show. What is up? Both dealers at the show. Cooter says June 17th is the weekend after camp drop-off. Wouldn't be the first time we drive back through Madison. That would be fun. I don't know what's going on. You won't get Bratfest in June. But I don't know. But June in Madison is a beautiful time. I would recommend if you're traveling from especially a warmer weather state, visit the Madison Card Show between like the months of April and September. Because once you hit October and into March, but if you're local, come out February 25th and March 18th. Hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you, Uncle Rich. Jenny says, I'm actually surprised you're not opening today because you want to be the first on the eBay singles from a business side. Right. You are exactly right. But I also want to, it's Valentine's Day. So that's number, I don't know. I mean, it's Valentine's. Like we are not like, I'll go buy my wife roses. Happy Valentine's Day. We're not going to go out, do anything special. We are not romantics. So maybe I do go live tonight. I don't know. We'll see. Herman says, rip those suckers and get the jump on eBay. I know that smart money says just list those puppies right away. So that's probably why I'll probably open a hobby box if they are delivered today. We'll see. Let's bring up the old UPS app because sometimes it says they'll be delivered today, but that in fact is a lie, which tomorrow I think is usually Wednesday is like the official release day, but blowout cards. Let's see, scheduled delivery today. They're being prepared for delivery. I did bring my toilet paper in here, so I may have to blow my nose here in a second. Let's see. So my boxes have arrived at the UPS facility processing. So maybe they will get on a truck today. So yeah, if you pre-order, I always say pre-order from Blowout because you will get your boxes on release day or the day before. So that's why I'm a big fan of Blowout cards because they will get. I ordered these, I think when did I order these? Thursday last week. They prepared them to ship on Friday, and I think they were picked up like Sunday. So Blowout cards for the win. I know I've ordered from Dave and Adams in Steel City. They typically ship the boxes out on release day. So you won't get them until Friday. I've made that mistake in the past where it's like, I'm already 2 days from what Jenny says from a business side, get those puppies up 2 days before. So that's key. Let's see. Where are we at? Rich says you don't want to be the one to post before the cards are officially released. Oh, come on, Uncle Rich. I don't have an account with Topps. So I'm not going to get in trouble. Topps is going, or Blowout's going to get in trouble, or whoever. So if I buy from Blowout and they get to me today, I'm going to rip the hell out of them. And I'll post them too. Jenny says, we don't call you a backyard breaker. We called you a hoarder of Cubs. Oh, Christian says, not a pitcher, a 1980s player. Okay, so I was way off. I'm glad I didn't name the name I was thinking of. Let's see. Rich says, I'm doing the National the opposite way. Hotel room done, but not set up the flight yet. No rental car needed. That's probably more important for the National, is getting, especially if you want to stay like at right around the venue. I would say the hotel room is more important than the flight for the National. For spring training, there's so many options. Probably what's going to happen is I'm going to end up costing myself more. I've already cost myself. In fact, Victor and I talked about this at the Rockford show on Saturday. I wanted to book through Marriott, and I've been checking prices for like the last 2 months. Probably started looking in December. But with the house renovations, I just was not comfortable. And this is the busy time for my wife's business. It's like, I'm nervous. So the Marriott, like, it's like freaking 265,000 points for like a 7-night stay at the Marriott. And most Marriott properties don't take points during spring training, which I've found out. So I'm still debating on what to do. I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to book a cheap motel. And I found one, and I looked at the pictures, and it looked really nice. And it was like $125 a night, which is much better than like $300 at like, the other properties. So then I'm like, I'm going to read the reviews. And like, there was one review where it says it's next to a trailer park and there's drug deals going on. There was actually a couple mention of drug deals in the parking lot. And I'm like, maybe I'll spring for the better property, the better hotel. Might as well book with Marriott. I can stay the 2 hotels like at Sloan Park on the grounds of Sloan Park are Marriott properties. And they're actually, because many of my friends are staying at the Hyatt place just down the street. And when I looked at that pricing, it was like the exact same price as the Marriott at Sloan Park. And it's like, I've got a ton of Marriott points. I'll just add to it and maybe take a trip. So then I've never like used Marriott points. So I have no idea like what point values there are. So the other night I'm like, I wonder if I went to like Pittsburgh to go to like a Pirates Cubs series. And so I just looked at a random weekend in like June or July, and I'm like, holy crap, I could stay the whole weekend on my Marriott points. So I can't do that at spring training. I'm going to blow my nose. I apologize. So I booked the flight. What's up, Sal Dougie? Good morning. I saw your video pop up from Vegas, so I need to check that. Rich says $3 relic out of the hobby box usually. As usual, Jenny is ahead of all of us when it comes to promoting Bo shows. This is an alliteration. I like that. Ed says, my national plans are complete. Hotel and airfare done. No car necessary either. Excellent. I'm just dragging my feet on. I probably should buy that VIP before they sell out. I can't believe Super VIP sold out. That pisses me off. So I'm going to have to spring for parking. But my hotel's booked, and we stay like 20 minutes out. So we split a room, and it's like me and a buddy of mine. And it's an easy drive. It's right down River Road, 20-minute drive. And we split. It's like $60 a night split between 2 of us. $30 a night is what we're paying for our hotel. And there's a Dunkin' and a McDonald's like right next door, like half a block down. so I can get my breakfast, get my coffee, and then I have a nice, and it's, it's the end of July. It's a beautiful, windows are down, music is up, coffee's in my mouth. It's a great ride into the National each morning. Andrew says cards should actually read, "This is an official napkin relic," right? Let's see. Jenny says, "Last year I pulled a $3 relic for my hobby box. It hasn't sold, so maybe it's a dollar card." Yeah, that's probably, if I did dollar boxes, I'd probably throw these relics in the dollar box. Maybe I'll get lucky on my flagship box, hobby box. There it is, the John Nolan Drive reference. Michael, what's up? 2023 hobby odds for hanger boxes, 1 in 99 gold. Goldback SP 1 in 1032. I've not had a chance to look at jumbo odds, but dang, anything pulled from retail will be tough. Yeah. And I'm okay. I'm actually okay with that. And I've talked about this many times. I'm okay with Topps just flooding the market with flagship, because that's like, everybody talks about, we need a product that kids can afford and all that stuff. If you've been to a card show, kids can afford more than we can as adults. Have you seen these Pelican cases these kids have? I'm okay with a flooded market of flagship. Now, all of the other stuff, like, don't mass produce Bowman, because I love Bowman. Make that, scale that one back. Whatever they're printing now, I'm cool with. Allen and Ginter, Heritage, keep those at a minimal. But Topps flagship, like, just run the presses on those. I'm cool with that. Max says, "Save your time on the Country Act. Only going to be songs about his dog dying, girlfriend leaving, and his truck breaking down." That is true, but that's my childhood, growing up in rural America, and talking about drinking on a red dirt road. On that red dirt road. Sometimes I get into country phases, and I'll throw on Montgomery Gentry radio on Pandora. Love me some Montgomery Gentry. Rich says, "Bo would have had so much fun as an alt rock or hairband DJ in the 80s. Hell yeah. That's right up my alley. Hair bands. I freaking love hair metal. Love hair bands. Herman says, "I put 2 hobby boxes in my cart on blowout and then backed out before buying." Herman, why? Rich says, Tone Loke, Funky Cold Medina. I'll go to Triple on Wednesday and buy a hobby box. Michael says, "I thought I could put together a Goldback SP set, but not going to open 50 cases to do it," right? Where are we at? It will be my reward for this 8 a.m. dentist appointment. Ooh. I do prefer 8 a.m. dentist appointments as opposed to like 3 p.m. because there's nothing worse than ruining the day than like a midday dentist appointment, because you've got that like that dentist cleaning mouth that lasts forever. So just do it in the morning, and then by lunchtime, you've probably got that dentist toothpaste cleaning crap out of your mouth. Let's see. Jenny says, "Cooter will have to meet up when you're in Minnesota." Flipping Sports Guy says, 2023 Topps already all over eBay. There were so many people live on YouTube last night ripping. Yeah, I can't believe how many in Monday. So I'm already behind. Baseball card curmudgeon, what's happening? Rascal 30 says, "I thought you were saying Rockfest, so I looked that up, and wow, yes, Rockfest is a much different show. That's a loaded weekend of concerts. In July in KDOT, being called the largest rock and camping festival in the U.S. Rockfest. They used to do a Rockfest in Janesville. Let's Google. Yeah, because I know like all the big bands are. Where is Rockfest? Where's KDOT? Chippewa Valley. Okay, so that's where I thought it was, kind of northwest, around Eau Claire. They got Ice Cube, Papa Roach, Gwar, Linkin Park, Slipknot, Pantera. Wow. Who is playing? Headliners are Slipknot, Pantera, and Godsmack. Ice Cube, Papa Roach, and Falling in Reverse will also perform alongside 75 plus bands. So yeah, that looks like a great show. Victor says, "Per tracking, delivery tomorrow." Oh, excellent. Good. That is good. Ed says, I was thinking McLean also. Let's see. Brian says, I got Airbnb for National. Flipping Sports Guy says, most expensive sold I see so far is a George Kirby SSP for $80. That activity around a hotel sounds like Atlantic City and the National, right? I didn't realize this baseball season is the first of new rules of every team playing all 29 teams in a season. Yes. Let's see. You won't have to spring for parking if your car doesn't start in the garage. Just catch a ride. Let's see. Rich says the courtesy runner remains in extra innings and the game is supposed to be sped up. Time clocks aglow in wider bases. Red Light 34 in the house. What's happening? There's a fest in northern Minnesota, and that is a weekend. I used to work security. People like their drinks on a wild country. Oh, yeah, country. You got Country Thunder. Oh, man, Country Thunder. So I booked my spring training trip. And it's so, man, if you've never been to spring training, oh my gosh, you have to do it. It's so much fun. And especially like I had somebody reach out on Twitter about autograph, like what's the autograph? And like, I really don't have any idea on other teams other than the Cubs. Like the Cubs, I can give you the ins and the outs, everything Cubs spring training, but the other teams, no idea. So I booked my flight yesterday morning. So I've been putting it off because I just don't know what our situation is going to be, but now we're a month out and it's like, I should probably get to booking. We're a month out. We have a better idea of where we're at with the home renovation, my wife's schedule for work. So I've just been tracking flight prices. So over the week, like I think Friday and Saturday, I looked at the flights and they were like $700, and they've been running $450 to $500. And I'm like, that's cool. I'll spring for that. But then they were jacked up, and I'm like, hopefully I didn't miss the window. And now that we're within a month, because March 7th, we're only 3 weeks away. Oh, wow. I didn't realize it's coming up that fast. So yesterday, I check every morning to see what the flights prices are. And so I looked yesterday morning and it was like 300 or it was like 700 again. It was like I think it was like 683 on Saturday. And it was like 644 or something yesterday morning. But then there was a little note below and it said, if you extend your stay one day, the ticket price is $378. And I'm like, holy shit, that's the cheapest a flight's ever been in my, the last 3-4 years. So I ended up and when I book through my points, it's a little bit more because I think like my points, it includes all the tax. Like I think the price that I was looking at on Google was, did not include all the taxes and stuff. So I saw that my wife was, we were in the kitchen. And so I'm like, so I haven't booked anything yet. What are your thoughts? Where are we at? I don't want to book anything if you're crazy, if your schedule's crazy, the house stuff. And she's like, she looks at her calendar. She's like, no. She's like, go. And I'm like, well, here's the thing. My plan was March 7th. Flight leaves at like 5:30 in the evening. So I'll be home most of the day. And then the flight back is first thing in the morning. So I'll be home around lunch. So it'd be Tuesday afternoon flying out, and then I'll be back Monday. But I can save like $400 if I stay an extra day and fly back on Tuesday, make it Tuesday to Tuesday. And she's like, oh, just go. So I booked, and I mentioned the hotels. I'm still shopping around on hotels and rental car. I'll just use Turo rental car. It's super cheap. Also, that's a tip. If you're traveling somewhere, you'll probably save money renting a car through Turo. It's an app than what a couple Uber rides will cost you. So I definitely recommend. I don't know, is Dan Korean Cardboard in here? I don't think he's popped in the chat, but I think he rented from Turo when he came back to the States last summer. So I think he was a fan. I'll let him answer that if he's here. But Turo, Turo, it's an app. I used Turo last year at spring training. And I had a really nice BMW that I rented for like $60 a day. And it was like the same price, like it was that or a Ford Focus. And I'm like, well, let's cruise around Arizona in a Beamer. So sometimes you can find some really nice cars. Again, the app is Turo, Turo, not a commercial. Although I wish it was. Give me a little kickback. So I highly recommend using that app. So that's what I'm looking at. Kyle wanted to know what my day looks like at spring training. So I basically, like, when I go out to Arizona, like, it's baseball. Like, that's what I'm there for. I skipped a card show when I was out there last year because it's like, I can go to a card show anytime. I'm at card shows 2-3 times a month as it is. I don't need to go to a card show. I don't get spring training baseball. I don't get to watch minor league prospects do their workouts on the backfields, every day. That's what I'm here for. I don't go out and look at the sights and scenery. I don't even go out with friends at night. Like, they're like, how come you didn't go out with us last night? It's because I wake up early and go out and watch baseball. And I have my fun during the day. So we can hang out. We can tailgate before the game. We can hang out at the game, have a couple beers after the game, and then boom, I'm back at the hotel. I'm probably asleep by 8, and I'm up at 6 and back at it to watch more baseball. And I literally watch baseball 8 hours a day the entire time I'm out there. I'll go out. It stinks when there's a home game at Sloan Park because I have to wait until 10 because that's when the parking lot opens. When it's a non-home game, I can park in the parking lot right in the backfield area. So that's what stinks on game days. I have to wait until 10. Otherwise, I get out there at 8:30, 9 o'clock on the backfields. And then if there is a home game, though, I'll leave the backfields at like noon, and I'll walk over, and the Club 400 has a tent right along the walking path where the players take from the Performance Center into the stadium. And so I'll tailgate for an hour, go into the game, watch the game, and then after we'll head back out to the tent, have a couple beers, and then back at it. So that's if I do stay on the property, it's all walking. So that's key. I don't have to pay $10 for parking. So I have to take all that into consideration where, if there's 4 home games, that's $40 in parking I'm saving. But I'm still spending, a lot of money, but I'm getting points for those nights spent through Marriott. So it's, here's the convenience factor. I can walk everywhere. I don't have to worry about that. So maybe that's the route I will take as I talk it out. So that's kind of like my day. Like it's really like not interesting. If there's by like day 6, if it's like usually day 6 comes like on the, after the weekend, I'm just like dead tired. I've been in the sun drinking beer in the sun for 6 days. That's kind of like, okay, this is my relaxing day. It actually worked out last year where like that 6th day it was raining. So I went to the card shop and just, hung out at the card shop and just laid low for the day. Okay, so that's kind of what I do. That's my day at the spring training. Jenny says, curious, what's up, Zach and Porter? I think I missed a few comments. Zach and Porter, happy Valentine's Day to you. Flipping Sports Guy says, definitely helps to have a midday leg of your flight midweek. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Midweek, it's so much cheaper. Flying out on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, so much cheaper. And it's like, I'll fly in, fly out. That's the perk. Like, oh, I have to stay another day. And, it's like, yeah, I'm not at home shipping cards, listing cards, but it's not like a vacation day I have to use up at the office. Rascal 30 says, anyone know if we can stream World Baseball Classic games without a pay service? Tubi commercials on Super Bowl made me look, and that site is loaded with free content. Yeah, Tubi is actually pretty cool. I watch Tubi quite a bit for like old movies. I don't think there's going to be, maybe they have an arrangement. I doubt it, but I'm not sure what if there's anything. I would imagine the World Baseball Classic games are going to be through ESPN and MLB Network. World Baseball Classic streaming, and that's another thing I've got to look at. I think the day games can be streamed live online through FoxSports.com. That's what NBC Sports says. Where can I watch the World Baseball Classic? All the action will be on Fox, Fox Sports 1, Fox Sports 2, Fox Deportes, or Tubi. Oh, interesting. So it looks like Tubi will carry at least some of the World Baseball Classic games. So yeah, Tubi is a cool app. There's a lot of like old, like cheesy 80s movies. Terry is a horror movie fan. There's some great cheesy 80s horror movies on the Tubi app, and it's all free. I think there's like a pay service. It's kind of like with anything. You can upgrade there's like no commercials and stuff like that. Let's see. Jenny says, curious, what's the spring training setup like? Does all the teams have ball fields really close to each other, or is it super spread out? Kind of both. And I can only speak from Arizona's standpoint. I'm pretty sure Florida's really spread out. Arizona's Phoenix is like an awesome city because there's so many cities, but they're all pretty close together. The outliers are the Royals and Rangers share a complex in Surprise, Arizona. And Surprise is way out. In fact, that was the very first game I went to when I went to spring training a few years ago. I went to the Cubs-Rangers game in Surprise, and I drove out there. And I didn't realize how far it was until I drove back. And I'm like, Jesus. And I drove back after an afternoon game. So I'm like in rush hour on like a Thursday, Friday, whatever day it was. But otherwise, it's pretty close. Like the Oakland A's, they train at the former Cubs complex, which is not far from the Cubs. And there's a couple others that, train pretty close together. So it's all pretty tight. All the teams are fairly close. And again, like Surprise is probably from Mesa, from Sloan Park. Surprise is probably an hour to an hour and a half drive, and that's definitely the furthest away. And then some other stadiums are like 30 to 45 minutes, but some are like just 10, 15 minutes. Let's see. Cooter says courtesy runner is yet another sign the beautiful game of baseball is long dead. I do not like the courtesy runner. No extra inning stats should be counted any longer. I do not like. I like some of the changes. I do not like that change. MLB should change its name to Recreational League Rules Baseball. Kyle says your spring training day sounds like a dream come true for my 12-year-old self. Yes, it is. You got to pinch yourself when you're out there. Flipping Sports Guy says, I wonder if old timers complained as much back in the day about rule changes as people do now. I think so. Yes. I wasn't around in the 70s, but I bet the designated hitter created a lot of complaints. Anything streamed on MLB Network, YouTube TV subs will be screwed this year. Flipping Sports Guy says Fox owns Tubi. Michael says Pluto is a free app that offers some classic baseball on demand. I did not realize there was classic baseball on Pluto. I watch Pluto a lot for like music. There's a lot of music videos, music channels on Pluto. And they also have cheesy 80s movies also. I went back and watched a bunch of old episodes of This Week in Baseball with Mel Allen. The show opener and theme music were my fave. I didn't realize they had an old baseball channel. They do have like I think it's TNA Wrestling. They have a channel and it's like streaming TNA. That's the wrestling, not the other, not what it stands for. TNA, not T and A. Jenny says, I wonder if Florida is able to really accommodate spring training guests this spring with Fort Myers being hit so bad last fall. I don't know how many hotels they lost. They build pretty fast. I think they'll probably be back up and running. Let's see. Michael says it's the on-demand section under sports. Excellent. So that's what I had for today. There's Low Roller. You promise you release new hockey cards. I never promised hockey cards in my eBay store. You're not getting any hockey cards in my eBay store. I'm not listing hockey cards. They all went in my quarter boxes. Let's see. There were two hockey cards. I am going to list two hockey cards in my eBay store later this week. The Jambalaya and the red precious metal gems. Those will be in my eBay store possibly tonight. It just depends. So those are probably the first, and then I'll do kind of a mass upload later this week of the baseball rookies. Dan says, going into spring training, who are your top two players that you expect to take a leap in 2023? One pitcher, one hitter. So I can only speak for Cubs. I don't follow. I follow prospecting, but not as closely as Cubs. So I'm going to give you a Cubs pitcher and a Cubs hitter that I think will. Cubs pitcher I have right. I'll tell you right now, it's Daniel Palencia. Let me see. For hitters, I've got to look at the prospect list to see to make the biggest jump. So I think Daniel Palencia is your pitcher. He hits like 102. I saw him pitch for the South Bend Cubs last year. I think he's gonna just be an absolute stud this year. Let's see. I guess we've got to go. MLB Pipeline still hasn't released their new top 30 for 2023. Let's see. I'm just going to go from last year's list on MLB Pipeline. Pete Crow Armstrong's already made a huge jump. Brennan Davis is probably going to be at Wrigley this year. Kevin Alcantara, he's made a big jump. So I want to name somebody that's kind of off the radar, kind of like a Daniel Palencia. Let's see. I'm going to say Kevin Made. Kevin Made is a shortstop. He's 20 years old. Let's see. Where did he play last year? Where's his 2020 stats at? Stats. Looks like he did play a little bit at High A South Bend. He played 37 games. Kevin Made might repeat South Bend because he was only there toward the end of the season last year. But he did play a full season in Myrtle Beach, which is low A, in 2021. So we'll see how he develops in spring training. But I think Kevin Made is going to make a big leap. If he does start at South Bend, you'll see him likely in Double A by the end of the season. I think Kevin Made, let's see, he's 20 years old. He's a right-handed shortstop, 5'10", 160. Scouting grades per MLB Pipeline, 50 hit, 45 power, 55 runs, 60 arm, 60 on the field. His overall is a 45. He signed out of the Dominican in 2019 for $1.5 million. Let's see. So there you go. Looks like he's played some third base as well. So I like Kevin Made to make a jump this year. Kevin Made is my hitter, and Daniel Palencia is my pitcher. That's going to be a breakout in 2023. Let's see. Those hockey cards worth more than $5 or more? Absolutely. Max is a Pete fan. Victor says Mervis will be okay. I'm bearish on Mervis. I think Matt Mervis is a 4A player. I think Matt Mervis is another. Oh man, I'm tip of my tongue. First baseman a few years ago, well, 10 years ago. Can't even remember the guy's name. Who was the flash in the pan first baseman for the Cubs about 10, 15 years ago? He made like one All-Star game. Oh my gosh. Actually, it might have been like 15 years ago. Cubs All-Star. Let's just look up Cubs All-Star. Somebody's probably going to have it. Not Derek Lee, not Hesop Choi. Let's see. Cubs All-Stars. Let's see. Oh, it's alphabetical, so I have no idea what his I can't remember his name. As soon as I see it, it'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe I forgot that. He had one All-Star appearance. Let's see. I'm going to go to the chat real quick. Is anybody not Mark Grace? Let's see. What in the hell was his name? Oh my God, it's driving me crazy. And I don't see him on this list. I could have swore he was an All-Star 1 year. First baseman. He had like one really good season for the Cubs. And everybody's like, "Oh my God, he's awesome!" But he ended up being a 4A player, and that's who I think Matt Mervis is going to be. Has anybody said it in the chat yet? Go back to the chat. Brian LaHare, yes. Thank you, Joey. Was he an All-Star? Hijkl LaHare. He's not on the Cubs website as I thought he was an All-Star. Am I like making things up? Brian LaHare. He was not on the Cubs website as a, I don't want his minor league stats. Where's his major league stats? He was an All-Star. He's not even on the Cubs website as an All-Star. He was an All-Star in 2012. That's what I thought. He hit, and he actually, I think he must have had a great first half. So his final season, he only played parts of 3 seasons. He played, basically he played 1 season in Major League Baseball. He played 2012. 130 games in 2012. He played 45 games in 2008 and 20 games in 2011. So this is what I think Matt Mervis is going to be. In his last year in Major League Baseball, he was an All-Star. 259 batting average, 16 home runs, 40 RBI. Like, those aren't really All-Star numbers. What was his WAR that year? Was let's see. His WAR was 0.1. That must have been a year where he must have had a great first half, and then the Cubs really sucked. And the Cubs did really suck in 2012. So he was like the one All-Star. Dan wants to know, what's a 4A player? A 4A player means they're too good for AAA, 3A, but they're not good enough for Major League Baseball. So it's like they tear it up in AAA, and they get to the big leagues, and they're a tweener. Not good enough for the prime time, but too good for AAA. That's what a 4A player is. And that's what I see Matt Mervis being. I see him being a Brian LaHare type. Now, will he have a better career than Brian LaHare? Most likely, just looking at Brian LaHare's numbers. I didn't realize LaHare only played 150 or 60 games in Major League Baseball, and most of them coming in his All-Star season. Let's see. Max says if Ed Howard gets 10 hits this year, it would be a huge jump. That was Max. That was actually one player that I thought to name, because he's battled, last year he missed most of the season because of injury. The year before he really struggled. I mean, he's young. He's still, I think Ed's only 20 or 21. This might be his age 21 season. So he could make a huge jump just because he didn't play well at all. He really struggled in 2021, and then he missed most of 2022. So Ed Howard could make a huge jump, and he's basically fallen off everybody's top 30 lists in the Cubs organizational prospects. So Ed Howard could make that jump just because people are kind of down on him. Sal Dougie says, I grabbed a Pete Crow Armstrong in my Vegas haul. Excellent. Let's see. Brian LaHare. And the Cubs website, Cubs.com, does not list Brian LaHare as an All-Star. Let's see. So basically Miguel Sano, not even as good as Miguel Sano. Joey says his first half was really good and then completely fell off. He still pops up on my time hop. That's awesome. Ed was a pick with your heart and not your brain pick. I was really excited about the pick. You know who I really wanted, though, in that draft in what year was that? 2020? The Ed Howard draft, and the Cubs could have had him, was Garrett Mitchell, who went to the Brewers. Like, he was the guy that I really wanted with that pick at whatever pick it was, 11 or 17. I can't remember. But I wanted Garrett Mitchell with that pick. And I think Mitchell went like the next pick or the next 2 picks to Milwaukee. So Garrett Mitchell was the guy I wanted in that draft. But I was happy at the time with Ed Howard. And he's a super nice kid. Like, he is a super nice guy. So I really want to see him have success. But so far he's really struggled. So that's what I had for today. Stay tuned. hopefully I start feeling better. I just started feeling like crap like last night. So great question. Jenny says, sidebar, when are you and Ty on? So we postponed it a week. So we're likely going to go on next week. I still owe him a photo for the thumbnail. So it's probably going to be next week sometime. We haven't picked a date, but he's gonna start promoting it, I think, on Friday. It's going to be on the Chasing Cardboard channel. We're going to do a live eBay masterclass, and it's going to be on the Chasing Cardboard channel next week. Not sure the day yet, but it'll be in prime time some night next week. So with Ty Wilson from Bench Clear and Chasing Cardboard. So looking forward to doing that. What else is going on? I think that's about it. I'm going to get another cup of coffee. I'm probably going to squirt some stuff up my nose to clear this crud out. Stay tuned. I will likely go live tomorrow night to break my Topps boxes. I'll probably, if they do get delivered, you talked me into it, I'll probably rip a hobby box today. And then I'll save one hobby box and the jumbo box for tomorrow night. We'll go live. And I think that's it. So stay tuned. So with that, I'm going to take off. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. See you tomorrow at 7 a.m.